My name's Matt Johnston. I'm a full-time professional firefighter and registered clinical counselor. So I'm the co-founder of First Responder Health Services, which is basically an education-based company that combines training psychologists how to work with first responders and also providing an interface for first responders to connect with psychologists through a telemedicine platform. And we do a lot of educational training opportunities for healthcare professionals as well. It's much like an athlete that's competing on a professional level, like a Canuck that gets hit by a puck midway through the first period. They know they're injured, but they power through it. And they may not even take their skate off at the intermission because they know they won't be able to get that skate back on. And so that's kind of how I conceptualize occupational stress injuries among first responders, is that we're so into this function over feeling mindset that if we just power through it, we can somehow get through it and survive. But my goal is to help people to thrive and not just survive the daily grind of life. So in my opinion, the best way of dealing with this is a collaborative framework between organizations, private industry, and clinicians to go, we want to revamp or freshen up our approach. We want to look at the resiliency of first responders, because if first responders weren't resilient, they would never have gotten the job. It's just too hard to get. So we want to remind clinicians that, hey, you can be guided by this training in complex trauma, but also let's focus on listening to what comes to you in your office. And often what comes to them in office is someone with a high bullshit meter detector and someone looking to poke holes because they're skeptical of the process. And so we train clinicians to really be client-centered, meet the client where they're at, and basically build a rapport based on humility rather than a top-down approach where you try and fit the client into this prescribed box of complex trauma. An occupationally aware clinician is someone who's interested in our training, wants to stay connected to us, has a curiosity of how they can build relations with their local department, whether it's the RCMP or fire department or Canadian Border Services, and continue to stay connected to us in a way that allows us to open some doors for them. Leaders in first responder organizations can easily find the list of occupationally aware clinicians on firstresponderhealth.ca. I recognize that this is a provincial initiative, so these leaders might be from smaller cities that don't have a lot of occupationally aware clinicians. So there's a twofold objective here. There's one that gives you open user access to our list of occupationally aware clinicians. There's no login required, we don't do data mining, and we don't sell any marketing. The flip side of it is if a member is in a smaller city that doesn't have an occupationally aware clinician, is we provide the telemedicine platform that connects them with our vetted network. So we have a number of standouts from our classes that we really want them to stay connected to our members. And within 5 clicks, a user can be connected for scheduling an appointment with one of those clinicians. My advice to leaders throughout British Columbia is you're in a very progressive province with mental health. We're leading the way in so many ways. There's so much potential. My hope for leaders of every level is to be driven by a theme of collaboration, where mental health isn't just a checkbox, it isn't just the flavor of the week, it's on point the mandate of each organization. And I believe that all first responder professions can do this together collectively. This is the power of the First Responder Steering Committee through WorkSafe, is having multiple stakeholders there, recognizing that we're all humans and that we need to put away our larger political objectives or whatever they might be that keep our organizations kind of functioning status quo. My ultimate end game is to reduce the number of psychological crises facing first responders, not only in BC, but across Canada. I feel at a cellular level that the best way to do that is through upstream mental health care, where members are given the tools to recognize early warning signs, that they experience exposure to ongoing mental health training quarterly or maybe twice a year at the least, so that when they feel like they're going into kind of the red zone, that they know what the red zone looks like. So it's about self-awareness, providing ownership, telling people you're in charge of your own mental health, but also providing resources that are frontline friendly and not just driven by a larger organization's mandate.